Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is me with Goku and Vegeta were brothers. The way this would play out is basically, the king, not the king, not yet at least. Bardock would end up dying shortly after Raditz' birth, like when Raditz is like a few months old, maybe, not, like close to a year old, but not quite. And then, well, eventually, when Goku would be conceived, originally the king would want a woman, basically, and that woman would be, well, Guinea. Now, I thought Guinea wasn't really too happy about it, but she can't really disobey her king without being kicked off the planet or killed. So she, well, her only stick around for Raditz, does go and agree with the king, leading to Raditz and Vegeta being brothers for a whole for a little over 2 years, till a year before Planet Vegeta's destruction. The king and Guinea break it off. But this actually did lead to some respect being gained towards Raditz from Vegeta. Only difference is Raditz didn't get any stronger. That's really it. So Raditz and Vegeta do have some kind of mutual respect towards each other, and well, yeah. Because the king tried to make those two get along because Guinea's kind nature kind of rubbed off on Raditz a bit. And the king did actually like Guinea for a bit, but she didn't really like him too much, which kind of made the whole thing a bit messed up. That's why they kind of stopped being married, or divorced. But yeah, Goku's born. Still, then 2 years later, eventually Guinea went back down to being a low-class Saiyan. And, yeah. Now with this, we fast forward on to Goku arriving on Earth. And at birth, Goku already had a power level of around... What would my notes say? My notes already have him, like, from... My notes kind of stopped making... Not making sense, but I got too bored to care after the Piccolo arc. King Piccolo, I mean. But I'll go over his power level all the way up until that, because that's where it's most important. Goku at birth already had a power level of roughly around 600, which is already very impressive. So yeah. Then we grab Gohan. Well, Goku, when he was a baby, was forced to learn how to control his grade 8, like go into it multiple times a day. Then, as he was able to somewhat listen to what his parents said and what instructors had said, it was very hard to do so, but he gained full control of his grade 8 after turning into it so many times over and over again. Like, sometimes he turned into a grade 8 every night of every week. So he has very little control over it, but has a decent amount for being his age. Then eventually the time that Grandma Gohan would originally die, well, Goku actually has full control of his grade 8 and runs away. Then returns in the morning. So, yeah, Grandpa Gohan doesn't die, just he lives. So, yeah. Goku, Grandpa Gohan, 690 as a power level, leading up to 6,900 as a grade 8. So surpassing Nappa as a grade 8, at least. Then eventually goes out with Bulma. Goes on Dragon Balls with Bulma. And this Goku is actually decently intelligent, so, yeah. Because he already did know a bit of Saiyan martial arts. He was taught how to fight, early on. So, yeah. But, eventually, he already had decent, martial art experience and decent knowledge of martial arts. So, yeah, he was born with the power of 600. Then eventually got up to 650 with his very little martial art training. Then we went up to Gohan. He got up to 690 with more martial art training. So I can just round that up 700, I'd say. But then with Bulma, he didn't get as much training experience because he didn't fight with anyone else, and then wasn't told what to do for some exercises. It was a bit more difficult, but still could train a bit. He was around 720 when he fought Yamcha. Well, Yamcha wasn't much higher than 9.5, so yeah. But Yamcha had lost to Goku. Well, pretty horribly, actually. And, yeah. So Yamcha lost, and eventually moved on to meet Ox King. Again, the flames on the tower, Goku already had key training from Grandpa Gohan, because I assume Grandpa Gohan may have had it, and I'm pretty sure there's been references to Gohan giving Goku key training. So when he saw the tower, he just held his hand out, fired off one basic key blast, and the force from it extinguished the flames of the tower. This weakened Goku, not weakened, but this Goku, who doesn't even have a named key blast yet, just only has the basic version, just firing off one small ball of key. That small ball of key has as much force as a Kamehameha that's in the strongest to blow up a moon. So this just shows how strong he is. So yeah. So at this, well, Goku had gotten up another 20, as his power level at this point is around 740. And right now it's just him and Oolong, and Oolong's not with him right now, but it's him and Bulma. Oolong had kind of stayed behind somewhere else. But then we'd go on to the Rabbit Gang. Go at this point 750, and he beats them down relatively easily. Kind of like they still got sent to the moon, so yeah. Then Goku having decent intelligence, it would actually keep the Dragon Balls under his radar, and they don't get stolen. Even if they did, he's simply just too fast for them to abandon, or for them to get too far. So yeah. So the arc is done relatively quicker, and then Goku in this one also said no to marrying Chi Chi, saying that he doesn't know her, so it'd have to be a no. So after that, we'd have to go all the way on to I'm gonna say probably just like train with Roshi, and then he has after this he does end up meeting up with Yamcha again. He went to see Ox King and then train with him for a bit to see how strong he was. Then he beat Ox King relatively easily. With Ox King, there's some rumors between him and Gohan that Ox King is stronger, than that Gohan's stronger. He just wanted to see who was stronger. It didn't really matter. He'd win, but still. He knew he'd win. But he beat Ox King, then called Ox King weaker than Gohan, then left. But eventually he stopped finding Yamcha along the way, then him and Yamcha trained together all the way to Roshi. Then they trained for around a month, then they meet Krillin, and Krillin runs his own training. But they had Bulma with them for a decent amount of time before she had left. Even Goku actually admitting he did have a crush on Bulma for a bit, still has one. So Bulma doesn't know that Goku likes her, and Goku's aware of him liking Bulma. It's just, well, she's a lot older than him, so he wouldn't act or try to ask her out or anything. So just the age gap kind of made it so it would be very weird. Next, probably the tournament, and Goku easily won that thing because, well, with his studying martial arts, he actually spent time training with those other than tournament style because he had completely mastered that. Not completely mastered, but mastered the basics at least. So yeah. But yeah. So Goku trying to just perfect or get average same martial arts skills. He eventually would also just go on to just we would just go on to just the tournament. Goku ran through that thing like it was nothing. So I'm going to go probably with Krillin and Yamcha in the tournament. The tournament, Yamcha was roughly around a power level 40, which is above his canonical 30. So, yeah, then Krillin was just about, because Yamcha didn't stay during the whole time, but stayed for a bit of it for the training with Roshi. Krillin was around 108 for the training, so that's already impressive enough. Flatten out the papers. Alright, fuck this. I'm going to run mouse and I'll be right back. Alright, so Krillin's around 108, Yamcha roughly around 30, not 30, roughly around 40, so he did lose to Krillin. If they ever did fight, I forgot, but yeah, Yamcha lose either way, then Krillin fighting against Roshi. Roshi's power kind of vague in this one, but like at like 8 to 2 times, like 1.5 times total players with canonical base form, and you may have that. Which I assume Krillin may still lose just due to lack of technique. But yeah, Goku still wins just due to his body being more advanced than everyone else's and being able to easily outspeed everyone. So yeah, and everyone still see Great Ape Goku because he had fallen to his knees just like because he was just tired from just Roshi's like various techniques that he couldn't keep up with occasionally. He broke his sweat and just panting he fell over, like just panting and smiling that he won. He looked up at the moon by accident, turning into a Great Ape, which Roshi was ready to kill immediately. But it's Roshi, not Jackie Chan in this one because, well, Goku's just strong. He wants to see everyone fight. Everyone see some Goku fight Amuta and Roshi. So it's nothing that Goku's probably the strongest martial artist alive at this point because he beat Roshi. But if you're in the underground world, or at least have knowledge of it, or in some people that are heavily involved, you know about Tao Pai, who could probably beat Roshi. At least with Ki he can. Maybe not. Probably not. But yeah. Tao may have been able to beat Roshi. But yeah. So after this, Goku ends up going on to fight the Red Ribbon Army, and well, he fights General Red, Major. I know part of it is Major Metal something, but Major Metal. Screw it, Major Metal. Goku beat him with relatively one blow. He beats all of them in one blow. Android 8 is where his biggest change was, because, well, I forgot what happened, but I remember Android 8, I think he's still alive, just not a fighter, because he has no interest in it. This Goku's a little more arrogant, but also still a lot like canonical Goku, just smart, with a tad of arrogance in it, tagged in. So, when Goku had defeated the whole army, he came back to Android 8, seeing potential in the android, and dragged him along. Android 8's questioning what's going to happen, Is he going to be defeated by Goku? Goku's like, no, you're going to be my new training partner. You don't have to fight anyone. You just train with me, and I get stronger with you. Because Goku's aware that he gets stronger each time he fights with people or just trains with them. So yeah. So basically, Android 8 and Goku, they train together. Then after that, first before that, Goku met the ninja guy, forgot his name. But then after that, he fights General Blue, then General Red, then Tao. Against Tao, Android 8 got a power level relatively close to Tao. It was Android 8 and Tao fight. Android 8 would use a bit of same martial arts because that's what Goku would seem to open up a fight with, because that's like what this was not what he's bad at, but this martial art he's not as good at. So he'll open up with that. Then if they can take same martial arts relatively well, then he'll move on to Turtle Hermit style, which he's better at. So he'll beat them up with Turtle Hermit style. Then he taught Android 8 Saiyan martial arts. Android 8 was able to compare to Tao for a bit. Then Tao was able to use a technique that almost killed him. But before it killed him, Goku actually took the attack head on, which was, I believe it was like the Dodon Ray, maybe. I forgot if that's a TN specific or just a Turtle Hermit technique. Not Turtle Hermit, I mean Crane School technique that Tao and Shen know as well. Maybe even Chaozu. Whatever technique Tao would do, that Goku would just launch just yell Ki, and then he will just use a Ki, and then he tanks the attack for Android 8. 8 shocked that Goku was actually that strong to be able to just finish off this attack with no effort. That he's not even scraped by it. His clothes are just a bit burned. Quickly, 8 fight off a blast, being a bit angered, like he's actually angry, and then shoots a blast right in Tao's chest, killing him. 8 immediately felt horrible about this, like the most awful he's ever felt. But Goku had comforted him, saying, "I can give him a second, because Bor and Oompa, Bor isn't dead. They arrived there a lot faster, so yeah. Bor isn't dead, but was severely wounded. Eventually, he was tended to, and actually told them about the best enemies and lookout. And before Tao was dying, Goku immediately just ran around with lookout at full speed. This Goku had the power level of around, I'd say, maybe 17,100. So yeah. So as he got up to look out, we'll get up to the tower to see Korin. He immediately just jumped out and asked Korin for his intervene. It's urgent. He needs 2 of them. Korin questions why. So just for Goku to yell, Bor is dying, and then we need to save someone else. Korin threw 2 centimeters at Goku. Goku immediately jumped back down, throwing one in Tao's mouth, another one in Bor's mouth. Now after that, they both swallowed them and they healed. But Tao got up, trying to attack 18, only for 8 for hit to him in the chest and break all his ribs on impact. We just made 8 just get nervous, but Tao hit his knees and passed out. Bor gave Tao a high five. Not Tao, gave 8 a high five. So good job. So with that, we just move on, going on to just Tao being, once detained, but then Tao does get a death sentence and is killed. They kill him in their own way. I don't care if he can be nuked, get shot with missiles. I don't care if he's killed. So yeah, Tao's dead. Next thing would be the Baba tournament, and Yamcha actually does participate. Yamcha still has his power level 40. Goku at this point still has his power level 17,700. And yeah. But Android 8 does actually want to participate, so let's say it's just Goku, Yamcha, and 8, but Roshi's it's their coach. So yeah, but they all run through the tournament until they encounter 2 really strong fighters. One wearing armor, and then on the corner of it says King. The other one wearing black armor, compared to the other one wearing white and bluish armor. Also has a red headband on, but they both wear masks. So yeah, now with these 2, one of them just knocks out 8 in one hit. And 8 was actually just decently strong at this point. 8 already gotten a power roughly around 2,000. So being knocked out one hit from someone else was actually very much impossible to think of, except for Goku maybe. Then the other one fights Yamcha, which just leads to Yamcha just being just lets out a yell. And the shockwave from his yelling just sends Yamcha flying. But next up is Goku versus the one that had actually just punched 18 out in one, not 18, punched out 8 in one go. Goku's fighting this man, then is able to punch him so hard in the face that his mask is shattered. The man sent flying back, holding his face saying, "Damn it!" And he stares up at the boy. Now, Goku's appearance. I'm going to go over that because that's mainly important. Goku looks a lot like Bardock and King Vegeta combined but has a personality very similar to Gine. So basically, Goku, in terms of like appearance, currently he looks a lot like Gogeta. Like, kind of like just imagine if Gogeta and Vegeta fused. That's kind of what it looks like in terms of the hair. Like just the hair and outfit is like Gogeta and Vegito fusing. Or actually, no, Vegito. I'm trying to give you guys a good picture real quick. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, this is basically it. Just take away the clothing and then put canonical Kid Goku's clothing on, and then you have that. It's kind of what it looks like. Then take away the vest, and then you have Goku what he looks like after Gohan's born. So yeah, just a lot like that is what Goku looks like. But the man just says that he lost, and he holds on to his face, realizing that Goku is stronger than him, maybe even Bardock as well. But Goku fighting this man did actually take up a bit of his ki, because the man had used perfected Saiyan martial arts. Only difference is they were both at like a disadvantage for techniques. But then the second man was a completely different story. Now Goku was already in 17,000 range. The first man was maybe around 11,000. Second man probably at 13,000 the highest. As he fights a man with Black Saiyan gear. Here, well, man's martial arts were a lot different, even using a bit of different species, but they weren't really good. Different species as martial arts. But the man had almost beaten Goku, only for Goku to use a ki blast that he saw the man do, and he called it the same thing, a final revenger. Hitting Bardock right in the chest with it. Well, it was Bardock, obviously, but as the man hit right in the chest with it, he sent flying back, holding his chest, coughing, and the shockwave had actually shattered his mask and most of his armor. Now everyone looked at the two men, and they immediately looked like Goku blended into one person. Just took away facial hair and scar. Immediately, that's when Eighter yelled, "Goku, are those your dads?" And immediately, Yamcha actually covered his mouth, and Goku had just looked at them in confusion. Baba then yelled, saying, "Way to ruin a surprise, you damn android!" Just to sigh, saying, "You two can introduce yourselves. My business isn't here." Baba ends up dragging away all of her fighters, and King Vegeta and Bardock go over everything that happened. Now, once he did everything, Goku immediately punched like King Vegeta right in the groin, calling him a perverted tyrant. Only for King Vegeta to fall to his knees, coughing, and Bardock giving Goku a high five, saying, "Hell yeah!" So yeah. With that, Bardock does explain everything to Goku, and King Vegeta ends up standing up, then taking off his like Saiyan armor that says King, then dropping in front of Goku. Goku asks why he's giving him this. So that's what Goku had said. Not Goku, I mean, that's what King Vegeta had said. He's been watching over his son, and actually learned of what he was doing. Didn't approve of him being this kind of a suck up to Frieza. And actually can tell that Goku's someone who will defeat Frieza. With the way Vegeta's going in life, his arrogance, his pride, and his supposed strength will lead him to nothing but failure. Goku needs to correct that as fast as possible. Then Bardock had said that he thinks of Raditz the same way, just be careful. But then King Vegeta just laughed, so Bardock, after thought about the words, they say, never mind, you're much stronger than those two. But still, be wary, never underestimate your opponents. Goku had nodded, actually kind of crying that they were still this sentimental to him, despite, well, mainly Bardock, like Bardock was even his father, he still was this nice and sentimental to Goku. King Vegeta did apologize to Bardock as they were leaving, but Bardock says, "We were partnered for this once. I'll never ever forgive you for what you did to my wife." King Vegeta actually did have time actually to repent on himself once he did meet Bardock in the afterlife, only for Bardock to beat him half to death again. But Bardock, as he was leaving, did call Goku his son, and then made Goku smile. Goku ends up picking up the Saiyan armor that had a cape on the back of it, but immediately Bardock had actually thrown Goku his Saiyan piece and his headband, telling Goku to take care of him. Goku had nodded, and he immediately heads up to just find all the Dragon Balls, because he has an idea. Now with that, he actually got all the Dragon Balls, and asked that these pieces of clothing be fused, but that they fit him. Or to make a Saiyan armor based off these two pieces of armor, but they fit him. Now with that works, and, well, that'll always fit him. I kind of phrased it wrong, because I had an idea for this later on. Goku ends up bringing Saiyan armor, and kind of puts it on, trying it out, and likes it. This isn't like just Yamcha laughing at Goku calling him like a superhero from some sort of comic. So Goku ended up kind of being put off the armor, but was happy to have it. So with this, well, Goku had eventually just, well, left. Kind of left his armor alone, but still training with Android 8 constantly. And eventually, as the King Vegeta arc ends up rolling around, Goku's around 16 years old, and Bulma is about, like, what, 5 years older than Goku, so she's like 21. So Goku and Bulma are able to be more flirtatious about, because a lot of places have the age of consent being 16, so Goku and Bulma are kind of dating, just not as open about it. But eventually Goku at this point is around 45,000 with a power level. Then he does actually try to turn Corn a bit, because, well, Android 8 is still there with Bor and Oompa. He lives with those two specifically. Now Krillin with Tambourine. So go with Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien not Tambourine. Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien power levels. Yamcha at this point is just about 312. So he himself can probably one shot or take out Tambourine, as she compared to him in power. Well, Krillin, who trains a lot more than Yamcha ever does, Krillin is just about 430. So he can one shot Tambourine. So Tambourine doesn't kill Krillin, but she does injure him a bit, leaving Krillin like the back end of the fight. So he's able to still punch Tambourine out almost knock him out. Tambourine flies away in fear, but still very shocked at how strong Krillin is. He reports back to King Piccolo what happened, and King Piccolo is just shocked that the humans are this strong. So instead, what he does is actually just go around causing chaos around the planet, away from where the Z fighters are, like all of them. And he can sense ki, they can't. So he has quite the advantage over them all. But once they try to like just reroute and find all of the Dark Vassals and King Piccolo himself, it's really hard to do because they're all getting stronger as they cause chaos. But as they're about, it's like they get strong enough after like almost around the time that almost towards the beginning of the Kami training. Well, as they're about to come back to where they are, all the Z fighters are, Goku actually finished up training at at Corn's Tower with Android 8 and Yamcha. Android 8 at this point is roughly around 20,000 with a power level 20,000. Yamcha's roughly about, I'm gonna say he is at a power level of roughly 630. Then Tien is around 1,000, and Krillin is about, I'm gonna say 1,000 as well. So with this, Goku's at 90,000, so he's already pretty amped. But as Dark Vassals reroute, about to attack Corn's Tower, well, immediately they see Android 8, who has different design to Bulma. His design was completely changed to be a bit more like, well, he wasn't slow, but he doesn't know he can be faster if he's a bit lighter. Size was actually very slimmed down to be about the same size. Actually, I'd say in terms of just body traits, he's very similar to Super 17. But then has a typical Android 8 appearance, the same hair, same facial features and everything, just slim. So him being a lot faster, just only difference is his strength is a bit dumbed down now. He still actually is able to beat up a majority of the Dark Vassals alongside a kid that he'd been training by the name of Yajirobe. He wasn't a kid, but still called him a kid occasionally because he was just so short compared to Android 18. 8. So with this, Yajirobe and the Z Fighters plus 20 are actually not 20. Fuck. The Z Fighters plus Android 8 are taking down all the Dark Vassals. Goku and King Piccolo are duking it out themselves. King Piccolo being at a power level roughly around 600, but he loses horribly in the fight. So yeah. Now with this, he does spit out an egg, but Goku simply just fast enough to run and grab the egg. He catches it. Well, Piccolo come down, want the egg. Goku ends up giving it to him, so he can see what happens to it. But as Kami tries to steal it away, Goku ends up taking the egg from him, saying the egg will not be sealed. Now Kami asks why, and Goku gives the whole backstory of the Saiyan race and his backstory, saying that he could have been a tyrant and ruthless one at that, but he's not. Give Piccolo Jr. the same chance. Goku ended up getting a chance from just being able to escape from his roots. Give Piccolo Jr. the same chance he has. Or give Piccolo Jr. the same chance that Goku had. Escape from his demonic roots. After that, Kami does agree with this, and Piccolo's now training alongside Goku, but Android 8 had actually moved his way up to Lookout, training with them all. because he's not really too keen on fighting unless it's unless it's necessary. The world being destroyed is most definitely necessary. But Android 8 leaves Piccolo and Goku to themselves. He should turn to Kami, as that's what Goku told him to do. Leave him and Piccolo alone, turn to Kami. Confused Kami, but as Android 8 says, Kami's simply just too weak to be God. And that's Android 8 kind of hitting Kami's pride right in the heart just to get him angry enough to fight. Didn't really work, but still Kami and him fought. Like daily. Even Bubble joined in because Android 8 ended up getting too close to killing Kami, but still didn't really work out too well because he was beaten up too. But eventually, by the end of the 3 years of training, more like 2 and 3/4 of training, but all the fighters mainly train at Corrin's Tower and occasionally at the Lookout. They went up there once or twice. But by the time the Piccolo Jr. arc ends up rolling around, well, get rid of my Goku notes because I quit those halfway through. Sorry, just Goku notes get way too complicated a bit after the Cell Saga, and a bit mainly after like the whole Beerus arc. That's more complicated because the multiplayer of Super Saiyan Blue and Red, Super Saiyan Blue and God and Ultra Instinct are too complicated. So I don't go into those too much. It's complicated, but yeah. But we just see Yamcha with power level of roughly around, let's say give him a higher 800, maybe at the highest 800. Then Tien is about 1,200, and then Krillin is about I'm gonna say 1,120. Very, very specific, I know. But still, well, Piccolo Jr. is in the fight. Piccolo Jr. is about 5,000 himself. Actually, no. Wrong thing. Piccolo Jr. is just about 800. He didn't really get as strong as he could have because he's more against training with Goku and actually ignored him a lot of the time until he's like pressured into it. Just doing have his pride hurt. So, yeah. But still, he trained with them and had to lose like in his first fight, which was actually against Yamcha, who beat him down. Just his martial art was actually decently good. It's just Yamcha's more interested in training with Roshi and Korin than moving up to Lookout occasionally. If he's not necessarily permanently, he wouldn't go up. So he mainly stuck with Roshi and Korin, and Yojogi, I guess. But with Roshi, he actually learned all the martial arts that Roshi knew, or most of them at least. Actually, that's actually able to get the best of Piccolo, and Piccolo lost. Piccolo was just shocked that Yamcha had these tricks and was still that strong. So very weird. But now we move on to the Raditz arc. Goku and Bulma, well, Goku at this point already had Gohan, but Gohan wasn't really a fighter just yet because he's 1 year old. So yeah, it's like after a year term of Kami, Gohan is born. Then we move on to just the Raditz arc. Gohan at this point was like born 2 years early, so Gohan's like 6 or 7. Piccolo in this arc would be like, let me check how old Piccolo was. Gohan's about 7 years old. He's 1 year younger than Piccolo in this. 1 year younger than Piccolo. So he's around 7 years old. By the time he's 7 years old, Gohan already has power level of, I would say, around 450. So yeah, Piccolo is just about 2,500. So yeah. But Piccolo lives in Lookout with Kami along in the Android 8, sticking with Goku mainly. Goku and Bulma, well, not Bulma. She mainly kind of goes between the city life and Mount Paozu. But whenever she doesn't work, she's on Mount Paozu. It's very like kind of just fun for her. Now she had to be convinced into it. So yeah. The reason she was kind of a bit like coaxed into it was the fact that Goku was able to convince her, saying, "Come on, you can learn a lot about nature out here." So yeah. So well, I'm going to go over one thing I do skip over a lot if I forget. Like I'm going to life. Remember Gohan did the same heart virus that Goku got, and actually that led him to die. So Bulma did feel bad for Goku at how much angst and depression he had at this point. So she began working on like a cure for a heart virus. This would be very, very, very come in handy in the Trunks saga. So yeah. Pause. Alright, so Raditz arrives, and Raditz isn't aware that Goku had met the Saiyans, being King Vegeta and his father. So both of his his excuse about father, and then what his father should have been. So King Vegeta and Bardock. So when Raditz arrives, Goku just will, since Piccolo fighting someone, Piccolo is actually able to somewhat compare to Raditz when he's suppressed, and eventually did beat him. Piccolo just said that Raditz leave the planet as fast as he can. And when Vegeta and Nappa had actually seen how fast Raditz had lost the fight, then Vegeta actually does have a lot more trust in Raditz, because Raditz actually seemed to be a very decent person. Then Vegeta did acknowledge that Raditz would be one of Raditz's weaknesses, due to him and Raditz getting along for like 2-3 years. 2 or 3 years. That kind of just led it sticking around occasionally. Then with this, this basically just led to, it's kind of led to what was it? Well, Vegeta actually does trust Raditz a bit more, and she does care about him a little bit, not a lot, a little. And she does actually ask Raditz, do you think he was masking his ki in the same way you do? Because Vegeta is aware of it. They are, if they're on like some other Frieza soldiers. It's kind of funny to somewhat have a pseudo suppression thing, then punch them immediately out of the way if they try to be rude to how low you are. So with this, Piccolo suppressed is just about 1,800, and Raditz suppressed is just about matching that. Raditz full powers isn't close to Piccolo, but around 2,000. And Piccolo not suppressed is around 2,600. So yeah. While Vegeta suppressed is just about 10,000, and Nappa suppressed is about 2,000, so, yeah. But Goku did eventually just nonetheless, he kind of just, what was it? Oh, gosh, I forgot what I was going to do. Alright, either way, Goku ended up going, yeah, I remember. Goku ended up going home. As he goes home, he would immediately just grab his Saiyan armor, because he did actually see he was a pod, and he's aware he's aware of a lot of his Saiyan heritage at this point. So Goku would drop out of his garbs and put on the Saiyan armor, then walk towards Raditz, questioning who he is. Raditz ends up seeing the armor. He's able to press a button that actually displays the whole visual aspect of presentation to it displays the whole video to Vegeta and Nappa. They see it and they go, Goku's wearing armor very similar to Bardock, but also very similar to King Vegeta. And Vegeta does recognize this armor is very similar to both. Raditz and Vegeta plus Nappa recognize it all. Immediately Vegeta just tells Raditz, questioning him how he got the armor. And Raditz question this. As Goku says, he went to the afterlife and fought people who gave him the armor as a thanks. Now Vegeta immediately questions what the men look like. Then Raditz asks that, and doesn't go Goku yelled saying, other end must be his brother. Well, Raditz is kind of his brother as well. But that's when Vegeta doesn't Goku yell at both your brothers are very disappointed in you. And then that's when he says, and they told me to beat the hell out of you. Raditz being shocked is suddenly punched right in the chest, being sent flying halfway across the planet, halfway across it. Goku did not hold back any ounce in that punch and almost killed Raditz on impact. As Raditz had landed, he was barely even conscious, only for Vegeta to be nervous. Goku grabbed the scouter, putting it on, telling Vegeta that if he comes here, he'll kill him. Now with that, the scouter ends up cutting off comms, and Vegeta, either way, is gonna come to Earth, but just to teach Kakarot a lesson. Raditz actually ends up succumbing to his injuries. This does make Goku feel a bit bad. Still, Raditz needed to atone for his sins, and this was his way of doing it. That Goku ended up getting back into his basic attire, the Vegito/Gogeta fusion armor. You find it. Keep in mind, Goku looks a lot like this. Just take away the Gogeta vest and the Potara earrings. This is just what he looks like. So just naturally like that. I'll need to find that some other time. But yeah. But 1 year later, Vegeta does arrive. At this point, Goku actually got a decent amount stronger than he did. Goku went from around 90,000. Actually, no, he's at 90,000 versus Piccolo Jr. He's I'd say probably in the Frieza range, around first, second form Frieza range. So as Goku ends up fighting against first he watches everyone else fight against the Saiyans. At this point, Yamcha's at a power level of 6,500. He's not killed. We move on to Tien at this point. To 69,000, that's Tien. Yamcha focuses on his career more than training, a lot more. All Tien has is training. So, it's kind of sad, but all Tien has is training and Chaozu. So NTN got a lot stronger. But Bulma tried to find some way to make sure she's kind of focusing on two different things, which is like just training and like just how different animals get stronger. She's kind of focusing on like a lot of different stuff and how Goku can go on train, which would lead to her developing gravity chamber a lot more, which leads to that why like Zarbon, why Tien a bit stronger than everyone else, except Krillin at this point. But yeah, Yamcha just hasn't used their training machine yet. But yeah, so Tien is 69,000. Then Krillin is just about 22,000. So yeah. So with this, we go on to just the Z fighters fighting against Gohan. He's still participating as well. So is Piccolo. Let's go over to them. Gohan at this point, Gohan actually does end up turning Goku a lot, and actually does have his controlled rage boost down. And Goku was able to transform his Ozaru form into like a base form, just so he didn't have to focus on just becoming so large he had to fight against a Great Ape. He knows how strong he had gotten for that training, but still, him and Gohan kind of got it down. But Gohan's Great Ape or Akari's was a bit larger because he's trailing in his rage, but also his Akari. So, or his Ozaru and just normal rage. So Gohan's a bit stronger than Goku is in that form. So that's how Goku's getting stronger. Then we have Ader, who's just about 500,000 exactly, like matching Frieza as we see him. But then Piccolo is about 90,000 himself, so they're all still really strong. But we just go on and see first off, Vegeta is fighting all the Z fighters and goes Great Ape because he's being pressured too much. When we fights Piccolo, almost gets knocked in his ass. I'm going to fly and just pick him up in the air and then throw him right towards Android 8. And immediately, Vegeta's kind of questioning how strong could this guy be. For Android 8 to just hold his hand out, and Android 8 got his bulky form back. Is about Android 8 at this point is about as big as Ginyu is. So kind of just buff. But Android 8 would just fly forward, slam his fist right into the gut of Vegeta, knocking him out on impact. Now, all Z fighters just sent ki blasts flying towards Nappa. So as the ki blasters hit him on impact, he's killed. They didn't realize that they did that, but they killed him. So yeah, but still, Android 8 just one shot Vegeta in Great Ape form. Goku was just watching as Vegeta had to stare on at just someone called the new King of the Saiyans standing over him. And technically, in power, Goku had that right. In power, in leadership, and numbers, apparently, he had the right to become the King of the Saiyans. Then he even got blessing from the former king. So, in all ways, he was the new King of the Saiyan race. Now with that, Vegeta wakes up in a hospital bed. But immediately Goku ends up kind of questioning, well, kind of just questions, I'd say. And Vegeta's kind of get questions the same way he does in canon, I'd say. Until we move on to just Vegeta not ever escaping on his own. But they all head up to Namek. Vegeta's just never given Senzu Bean or anything, or fully healed. He has to take a normal healing process. So yeah. But on the ship that's going to be driving a few of them to Namek, Gohan and Piccolo are on the same ship. Then Goku, Vegeta, and Android 8 are on one ship. Vegeta can't really do insane training, and still do average bits of training. So as it gets to Namek, Vegeta is exactly at 36,000. Then Goku's also genius in his own right, and she did know how to engineer a few things, almost as good as Bulma can. This pod was ready like a day after everyone else had left and followed suit. So he arrived a day after them, and we just went around Namek. They got all the Dragon Balls. As they got all the Dragon Balls, well, Gohan was with his mother, and yeah. But we just go on and see the Ginyu Force arrive. Ginyu Force ends up fighting against the Z fighters. At this point, we have Yamcha, who's at 247,000. He got a lot stronger by himself. Once he just saw how strong Vegeta and Nappa were, he can just train full force in the time chamber, not letting anyone in. He just trained the whole time. When he came out, he was this strong. Tien just used the gravity chamber that Bulma built the whole time, but then used it with Krillin getting stronger because he had people to spar with. Tien is just about 2.9 million. Then we have Krillin. The reason I'm making Yamcha so weak is because he makes poor decisions. That's really it. That's why so we can gain. He makes the worst decisions possible in life. Like, they're good in the long run, but for the moment that people do need you the most, it's the most horrible thing ever. But back to Krillin. Krillin is just about 1 million, like exactly 1 million. Android 8, I'd say, is probably around 400 million, so around there. And then we would have Gohan at this point on Namek. He's about 641,000, and his rage boosts are kind of gone with a bit of mental training. It's only his Akari form, but he's still barely able to control that. And then Piccolo. Piccolo is about 7.4 million. But after fusing with Nail. But then, they all get their own power-ups after Uniforce is defeated by, like, whole Uniforce can be dropped by Yamcha alone. And it is. Yamcha alone just drops the whole Uniforce, not even giving Ginyu the chance to swap bodies. Like the one Ginyu tried, Yamcha had thrown Guldo right in front of him, and Guldo ended up getting the body of Ginyu, only to have his fist plunge through his chest, and then Yamcha ends up killing Guldo in Ginyu's body. So Yamcha soloed the whole Ginyu force. He was stronger than them all. It was pretty easy. So with this, we should go on to so I guess we can go on to probably just Frieza. Yeah, Frieza arrives when we just compared Frieza's power to them all. Only one that maybe incompetent is Android 8. And that's just it. Probably Android 8 at the most. And Vegeta's just saying that exactly, Android 8 only. So yeah. Vegeta ended up learning a bit of basic key skills from Android 8, teaching him a few things, because 8 ended up learning a lot of things from Goku. And Android 8 is a gentle soul, so yeah. In Android 8, by the way, his whole body, that's how he gets swapped in size and everything. He has 3 different bodies. His original is slim, then he has his full power form, which is the one that's the size of Ginyu. So, exactly like Ginyu, just not in appearance. Like the skin tone and Android 8 looks like Android 8, just buff and tall like Ginyu. But yeah. So with this, Frieza does arrive, they'll get their power-ups. And Goku's about he has a Super Saiyan form unlocked at this point already. He has that much potential just to unlock it, just through sheer skill. Get Goku. And Super Saiyan, he's just about the double Frieza, so you can give your estimation on that. Super Saiyan Goku's double full power Frieza. And then we go on to Vegeta at this point, who's about 2.9 million, and still doesn't have Super Saiyan yet. It's pretty close to having it though. Then Gohan's about 800,000 at the highest. Then, he can advance the fight a bit further, going to about 2 million. Then Piccolo at 34 million at his peak, and push Frieza all the way to his final form, even a bit beyond it to 50%. So, yeah. But, yeah. Pause. So, so they all have their own power-ups via potential being unlocked, maybe via fusion, just via anything. But Frieza's fighting against everyone. Piccolo is the one who pushes him to his farthest power. Then Frieza easily defeats Piccolo and sees that full power. Only for Ikari Gohan to kick Frieza far away. Then Frieza has to push beyond 50 to go full power. And then, he ends up coming across Super Saiyan Goku, who beats the absolute hell out of him. But Android 8 flies in a bit, and is able to hold Frieza in place, because this is just overwhelming physical power and speed. So with this, we just see Frieza defeated. After this, we have to move on to just Goku heading Yardrat still, because King Kai recommended it, just telling Goku who he is, and then Goku agreed. So, so as he just heads to Yardrat with King Kai's recommendation, Piccolo does go along with him, and so it's Gohan because Bulma allowed to go, like, still told Gohan and Piccolo to go with Goku, and Piccolo basically lives on the lookout over the Goku. Bulma just walked out in the living room, just seeing Piccolo just there asleep on the couch watching TV just randomly occasionally. So Piccolo lives on the lookout and with Goku, and he's not much older than Gohan, so they still treat him like a kid. So with this, Piccolo is just told to go to Goku and Gohan by Bulma. Now that those three end up heading Yardrat, and they all learn spirit control. Well, Piccolo actually said that he's the best option for this, and when it came to transportation, he'll cover transmission, just learn whatever he wants that isn't for convenience. Let's go. Goku's potential is a lot higher than canon due to just him being a Saiyan prince, but also just being Goku. With his advanced potential, so yeah. But Goku, with his potential, he's able to master instant transmission and force spirit vision. Well, Android 8 kind of just followed suit because after like a year, he was missing Goku and flew into space just to find Yardrat and found it. Then trained there for like 6 months and learned force spirit vision himself. So yeah. So Android 8, Piccolo, Gohan, and Goku were all on Earth training, not Earth, I mean on Yardrat training, and yeah, Piccolo had learned basically every single ability of Yardrat. Gohan had learned instant transmission only. He kind of thought it'd be very different because it advanced his ki sensing abilities, and it'd help him a lot to advance that stuff. Pause. So Gohan instant transmission, Piccolo every single technique. Android 8er is just now learning the basics of force spirit vision. Goku had learned force spirit vision and instant transmission. He's just still learning it. Eventually, Piccolo brings them all back to Earth, and then Gohan would see his mother for the first time in 2 years. Android 8 says hi everyone as they saw him 6 months ago, and Piccolo just tagged in and out to see Kami occasionally to make sure he was still doing well. So yeah, Piccolo, but went back and forth. Just no one wanted to go along. They wanted to keep training. So yeah. Eventually, Goku ends up seeing Chi-Chi and Vegeta together. Just Vegeta being Vegeta, then Chi-Chi being Chi-Chi. Then they kind of made like a decent couple, but not like a great one, but a decent one. So yeah, now Trunks has arrived. Trunks has all black hair in this one. Then end up throwing over, just like telling them everything that he can, which just doesn't tell Vegeta and Chi-Chi who they are. So he says that these two cannot hear what he's going to say. Vegeta questions why, but Vegeta says it's going to tear apart their future if he does. No, this did make them a bit nervous, but they left. Now that they get told everything, just not Vegeta and Chi-Chi, everything, that made Bulma laugh, saying, well, really, I couldn't tell. Now Trunks offers up heart medication only for Bulma to throw her own to Goku. And that Grandma Gohan had died from that, and she already made her own. But maybe because of the feature and that she didn't see Goku having it, now they see it. So it made him take a heart virus medication a lot earlier. One time the Goku needed it, Bulma kind of scrapped it. But luckily, she didn't scrap it just yet. So it didn't really matter. The heart virus Goku had wasn't really common at all. Gohan was so far the only victim that had it. But yeah. But we just see eventually the androids do arrive, but Vegeta and Chi-Chi do give birth to a kid named Trunks. The fact that Bulma suggested a name because they couldn't think of one, and that made Trunks be born. So yeah. So with this, we have to go on just the androids attacking, meaning 17 and 18. Well, not 17, 18, 20 and 19. But then one on the scene is Yamcha and 8. Yamcha at this point has a power level of, I'd say, around 2.7 million. Well, Yamcha's insanely strong at this point compared to his Namekian counterpart, or Planet Namek counterpart. And he was in the time chamber with Tien the whole time. Tien got a lot stronger because Tien's Tien. I like him more than Yamcha. Tien's at 6 million, and Krillin is just about, I'd say 5 million. So yeah. Then Android 8 at this point is about 85 million. He's an android. He gets a bigger multiplier. Gohan himself is around 35 million as well. So not pretty similar. I mean, kind of close to Android 8, just not as close. As close to everyone else. Well, he's not as close as Goku and Vegeta are. But Piccolo is about 30. Well, once you use Kami, he'll be closer than, not closer, he'll be stronger than Android 8. Still be pretty impressive. Then Vegeta at this point is about, I'd say Vegeta's about around 5.9 million. So still pretty strong. Then Goku is just like, at like almost double to Vegeta, or actually no, Goku at this point is like I'd say like pretty close to, actually exactly equal to Android 8 would be a good thing. Wait, no, I messed up. Android 8, 850 million. Yep, fuck, Android 8, 850 million, so Gohan's not even close. Then Goku's around 100 million himself, so stronger than them all. Just not Android 8, so yeah. Now, we move on, the androids fight. Well, Android 8 and Yamcha fight against Jiro in 19. And Android 8 is able to somewhat copy the key draining technique of Android 919 by like mimicking what he learned on Yardrat for Force Spirit Vision. This actually allows him to actually perfect it, but then be able to mimic it, taking back all of the key that Goku had taken from him. Then Goku on this one took his heart virus medicine and didn't get sick, so he's still fighting. And 17's pressured a lot more than he is in canon. Still 17, not 17 even. Fuck. We just move on to the hideout. 17, 18, and 16 are 16, 17, 18 are let out, and they all fight. 16 fights Goku, only just to see how strong Goku is than he thought. Goku Super Saiyan going up to 500 million, barely above 16, but still 16's beaten. 17 fights Goku, but 8 intervenes by just like clotheslining him, sending him flying back. And 8 got a bit more of a fighting spirit, just due to the fact that, well, he's had to spar with Goku, then Goku ended up rubbing off on him. And Boran, Oompa, and Korn and Kami also encourage him to fight when for the greater good. Not if it's just some common punk. Like if it was just 17, he wouldn't fight at all. If it was just 17, he would leave him alone. If it was 16 only, he may watch just in case. If it was 17 or 18 themselves, he'd just sit down and watch. He wouldn't participate or anything. Just sit down, sense everything happen. Just for Goku to one shot them both. So yeah. But after this, we have to move on all the way on to just probably just Cell arriving. The androids were defeated, but they weren't going to be destroyed because Android 8 had an idea for them. As they found some way to bind the androids by not just their sheer force. But as they found a way to do that, as they're binding them up, suddenly Goku slammed into the ground by someone and kicked away, only for 17 to disappear from everyone's sight, and they see Cell, so they see the green figure that kicked Goku evolve. And says, you had your guard down because you thought all the androids were defeated, huh? But suddenly Cell's tail is grabbed, and he's just thrown right in the air, then just hit the giant ki blast. Android 8 says, I sensed you coming a mile away. I just thought everyone else could. With that, Cell would hit the ground coughing, saying, what the hell are you? You weren't in the timeline. And in the timeline of, the original one, Android 8 lives a normal life. He is not a fighter. He's kind of just blending in with normal people. He's not sensible. Really, he's just that weak. So, he's not really anything of benefit. So, yeah. But when he questions who Android 8 is, Android 8 says he's Android 8. Cell tries to absorb him, only for it to not give him any benefit. He tries to absorb him, but doesn't give him anything. And Android 8 is actually able to hold off him being absorbed to tear off Cell's tail. Then beat Cell with it. Now with that, Piccolo she was on the lookout with Kami, and them both combined were actually able to make a few material to actually bind the androids. But then as they sent Cell, they fuse. They immediately this bump and Kami put into Piccolo and they fight. Piccolo at this point is actually stronger than canonical Cell, like a lot stronger, so they're actually able to beat this semi-perfect Cell, like almost to death. But then Ader, using his newly somewhat learned, averagely learned Force Vision, will try to separate 17 from Cell. Then Goku actually begins helping alongside Piccolo, who they begin trying to separate all the ki and people that Cell had absorbed. Cell didn't expect Piccolo or Android 8 to be strong, that's why he's this weak. So yeah, he was off guard the whole time. Piccolo was just going to beat him easily. Android 8 was just kind of on his level. But still, they unleash all the ki and people that he's observed, absorbed, including 17. 17 with the ground coughing, and Cell realizes he's back to being weak. He turns around only to have just be impaled by Piccolo. Then Ader is able to help Goku get info from Cell's mind. Oh, now with that, they understand that his weakness is his nucleus. They tell Piccolo that. Piccolo just throws Cell into the air and then just lets out a giant ki blast just filled with spiritual energy mainly. Spiritual energy and basic ki. Then the ki blast is just able to incinerate Cell completely. But Trunks arrives right as he sees that, questions what happened, only to arrive to see Cell's dead. And the androids are just there, but then they're just brought to the lookout. Question about killing them. But Android 8 says he has an idea for them. We're going to go question who Android 8 is because he doesn't know him. That's when Android 8 says his name is Android 8. He's been helping these fighters for a long time. He must not have been in the timeline, just like Cell said. That's when he's just shocked that an android was helping them the whole time. It was just, he was an innocent guy in their timeline. He was this strong. I mean, like Trunks has an idea, but that's when Android 8 says, no, do not drag me into this. Because, I didn't have any intention of being a fighter. Goku just rubbed off on me. Other me may not have this ideal, may not have these ideals for a long time. So just leave him alone. So yeah, Trunks had to just stick with leaving Android 8 alone. So yeah. But after this we have to go on to just the next arc being the Buu saga. This has been used of peace. Goten is born between Goku and Bulma. Goku has his own naming scheme. Bulma had hers. It was just Goku's is just now beginning. So Goten is the final star. If they have a girl next, Bulma is choosing the name Bra. So yeah. So we should just go to the next part of it being, I'd say, we can move on to probably just the the Buu fights. They all join the tournament. Android 17 and 18 are under very close watch. And 16, he's kept around to be a helper for Android 8. Android 8 was actually able to live on his own for a bit, but then brought along 16. And we just see just Piccolo teach Android 8 a lot more techniques. Then around a year or two into the piece, after Android defeated, Android 8 had learned his whole transmission. Eventually, he does actually move to Yardra because of how peaceful it is. So with how peaceful it is, and he's there, he finds it very much more interesting. It's just more fun, and 16 lives there with him after he's reprogrammed. Well, then 17 and 18, they kind of just live on Earth with everyone else. So yeah. 17 and 18 mainly they live. 18 still marrying Krillin. It's just he fights a lot more because he trains a lot more. So he's a bit stronger. And 17, he's a lot stronger than a lot of them are. So he trained with basically all the Z fighters, and mainly lives on the lookout because he prefers it there. It's quiet. Plus, he can admire animals from afar without bothering them. So perfect thing for him. Pause. So Android 8 and 16 live on Namek. Not Namek, on Yardrat. 17 lives on Lookout. 18 and lives with Krillin. Where Krillin lives with her. I don't know how it goes, but yeah. The tournament goes on, and the Kaiser is just shocked at how strong the Z fighters are, especially Goku, who's on par with them, not even how anything they know about it. With power levels. For the Buu saga, Vegeta is just about 345 million. He's that strong. Then Piccolo is about 46 billion. Gohan is 72 million. Then eventually he moves up to full power at 98 million. And then the androids, for the power levels of the androids. 16, 4 billion. 17, 3 billion. 18, 3 billion. 18 is 3.9 billion because she trains with Krillin a bit more. And then for 8, 7 billion. He's simply just that strong. And Kid Buu, might just run on 24 billion. So, yeah. Now, Krillin himself is about 7 million. Then Tien's about 17 million. and Yamcha is 9 million. So, the next, I guess, important thing would be, I guess important thing would probably just be like besides pick them, like, Spopovich and Yamu would prove to be difficult for Videl, or mainly Spopovich, but she's able to defeat him. But then Yamu jumped into absorb her ki, and she's one-shots him with her remaining energy. So once Yamu is defeated, but Spopovich and Yamu, well, next on is the Kai. He's trying to like hold Gohan in place and then absorb his ki for the whole thing. But then immediately they're all taken down by Piccolo easily. Kirito demands to know who Piccolo is, or who he thinks he is, and Piccolo says he's the guardian of Earth. Who are they? And immediately they're shocked, because they expect him to be the guardian. But yeah. But I guess we can go on to like Honestly, I honestly don't know where we could go for a lot of these, because it's kind of just being overpowered, mainly. So, we can just have, like, fucking... It's so hard. Just Dabra. Dabra arrives sensing Spopovich Yama disappear, but he sends out Yakan completely first. The Kais think that those two will be simply just too strong to beat. Only for like Tien and Krillin to step up. Those two being like, they're not the strongest, but they're still decently strong. And they've all trained King Kai at least once, because, well, the ones with instant admission mainly can go to him and they sense him, so they do. And they bring the Z fighters to him, and they all train with him. So yeah. So yeah. But we just see like just Goku. We see Tien and Krillin, who are able to easily defeat the two Yakan completely. Then after that, well, we'd have to go on to Dabra arriving to defeat them. But then as Dabra arrives, like, try to like beat any of them, well, his biggest threat right now is just 17, who just arrives and then kicks him to hell, basically. That's really it. Kicks him to hell, like, back down to it, I guess. But as Dabra's laying on the ground almost dead, he just gets a blast right to the chest, being killed. And, well, this is not enough energy for Boo to be revived, because no one has ever gone like too strong. Like, no one's ever gotten strong enough to actually, well, at least Boo. And like, not even Gohan. So with this, well, they arrive to Babidi. Babidi tries to make a Majin. But the one he does, well, he blasted right in the chest. So yeah, the egg is taken by the Kais, and yeah, they end up sealing it away with Piccolo helps seal it away by using his whole like what was it? Roshi tells him what it is, tells him how to do it. Piccolo does it easier. The Mafuba. Piccolo does performs the Mafuba, sealing away the egg. Then gives the egg to the Kais. Well, not the egg, the container. They see he's a little like a small like a large sake cup. Well, average size sake cup, but yeah. After that, well, the whole Buu saga is done, and we have to go on and see like we have to go on and see just the next arc, being the Beerus arc. Beerus arrives, he fights and beats all the Z fighters. Then Goku is turned into Legendary Super Saiyan, not Legendary God, Super Saiyan God. Fights Beerus, he loses still. Then trains to Beerus for the next time, for the next whole time. Z fighter power levels. Now against Frieza. Yamcha is about 8 billion. He's that strong. Tien for Frieza is just about 12 billion. Krillin for Frieza is about 6.9 billion. The androids for Frieza. Android 16 is about 72 billion. 16 is about 72 billion. Android 17 is 162 billion. Then Android 18, 158 billion. And Android 8 to 100 billion, 17, so 162 billion. Then Gohan for Frieza. Gohan began training a bit more. Gohan is 98 million still, but then has Super Saiyan 1 through 3. So, yeah. But then we have Piccolo, at this point, is about 57 billion. Then Vegeta himself. Vegeta is about 24 trillion. Then Goku maybe about like 80 trillion himself, maybe. So, yeah. But Frieza arrives, he fights, and honestly, the androids are his biggest problem because they're actually a lot more involved. And Android A is the one that ends Golden Frieza. So, yeah. So once Frieza's defeated, we move on, just the next arc being the Universe 6 tournament. Same fighters are in it, and the same fighters win. Well, just replace Monaka, we have Android 8. Android 8's a lot more involved. Android 8 defeats Hit. Goku was actually really close to defeating Hit. It was just, well, he ran out of ki. Well, Hit still had a decent amount left to perform one time skip. So that one time skip was able to get him a win. So yeah. And after this, we just go on and see I don't know. Yeah, just Universe 6 tournament kind of goes on for normal. It is just that Android 8 defeats Frieza in this one. Just Goku and Vegeta don't arrive. But they do head back to Earth a bit, show off their new powers to Gohan and everyone. And Android 8 actually wants to join in on the training a bit, but he doesn't. Now with this, we just go all the way on to just the next arc being Tournament of Power. Tournament of Power. Actually, no. It'd be Goku Black. Okay. So Goku Black arc is still Goku and Vegeta, but then also Trunks, who's a bit stronger. Trunks is about as strong as actually like canonical Goku. So that canonical Goku power for Trunks, just with that rage boost. Well, he defeats Goku Black when they head back to the future, like the third time, the final time they head back. He defeats Goku Black himself. Then it was Zamasu, Goku and Vegeta. Then Goku, being smart, was actually able to grab the ceiling tag and perform the Mafu perfectly and seal him away. Then they give the egg to Shin. They can give it Zeno. The Zeno button still does exist, and they use it. Zeno questions who they are. They explain it. Zeno's mad till he hears what happened. Not that they stopped all the damage and thanks him, but questioned why they would disobey him or belong to their laws. Goku does apologize for that though. He immediately hands over something to Zeno. Zeno questions what this is, and then this one Zeno hears that this is the guy that did the cause all the chaos. So Zeno thank them and gives them a pass, and they head back in time. So with that, they head back to the current. Trunks stays, and Zeno actually does just because Trunks has been so brave and bold. Well, with Trunks' brave and boldness, he's allowed to train with Shinkan for a few weeks, actually. Like 2 weeks. And so this does make Trunks insanely strong. So, yeah. Trunks in power may be rivaling all the androids combined and Goku and Vegeta. So, he has all of his power just amped up. So the next arc would be the Tournament of Power, and Tournament of Power, well, everyone just is overpowered as hell. Then Goku trained a lot harder than he ever has just for this tournament. And he trained the time temper with Android 8 and Vegeta. But Goku, being smart, was able to take away the cost of the universe being erased. They will face a punishment, just not being erased. So, yeah. But with this, we just go on and see, how to phrase it. I don't know how to phrase it, but basically, Goku may be as strong as Jiren at this point. That's how I'm going to phrase it. So Goku being as strong as Jiren is, it's very weird. So with this just thing with Goku being on par with Jiren, possibly, or close to it, which is probably not close, but still being really strong compared to his canonical self compared to Jiren. Well, Jiren does seem Goku a really strong, impressive warrior. So with that, we can move on to, I'd say, possibly fucking know, I guess. Because turn power doesn't really mean different. It's just in place of Frieza is Android 8. Then in place of, like, well, who would, I guess in place of Roshi could be Yamcha, because he's a bigger role, so Yamcha is in place of Roshi. And, yeah, that kind of just happens. Just Roshi and 18 are in the tournament. Not Roshi, I mean. Yamcha and 18 are in the tournament. That's the biggest difference. Roshi and Yamcha and 8 are in the tournament, and they perform. Well, Yamcha fights all the foes of Roshi. Just basically no one in Universe 7 is taken out. Really, no one is, just, unless they face Jiren. Unless they face Jiren or Topo. That is how the game kind of just not game. I mean, that's how like the whole fight would end. Is just them facing Jiren or Topo, who's in Destroyer mode. But if they don't, then they're staying in the tournament the whole game. Fuck the whole tournament. But still, well, the Z Fighters win. Then the sandwich is made. The more arc goes on, per normal, I guess. Just Goku and Ultra Instinct. Well, he focused on trying to awaken Ultra Instinct a lot more. Plus with Broly. Well, Broly is still known. Oh yeah, by the way, Killing Caulifla forgot to know that Goku's the king of the Saiyans. They have to know that. So yeah, but that wasn't really too important. Other arcs play out the same way. It's just Goku's a lot stronger. With Granola, well, with Granola, he did that a lot. Well, Granola would probably get stronger because Goku's stronger. So Granola's it remains the same way. Fuck it, I don't care. So we can just move on past this. I don't care. But this would kind of end the what if, because what if the end's a bit more complicated with the power scaling, because it's Goku's body in the hands of Zamasu, but he just doesn't know how to use it. And yeah, so that's really just it. I can say. I didn't really enjoy the end of it, but I enjoyed the rest of this what if. Hope you guys felt the same way, but maybe enjoyed the end of it. Sorry for being so weird, but yeah. Bye.